Hello everyone, welcome back to the Spotlight. We are here today, Monday morning, after a Super Sunday that finally was a positive performance from Manchester United and the whole team as well. What can I say about the game yesterday? And is this a turning point in the season? First things first, and to address, we've seen this before from this team. One good result against a good side, we regress. Was it we beat City? We lost the last four. Will this be a turning point? Was there a mentality shift with Bruno being sent off, with the squad having a full week's training with Amorim and no game? Have we seen something, or is this another case of this squad getting up for a big game to come crashing down in the next couple? See Arsenal next in the cup, and then you expect us to go and dominate Southampton. Can the team take this and put two or three good results together, or are we going to see one good result and three poor ones? Let me know in the comments if you think this is a turning point, if you think we are on the way back, if you think Amorim's finally got through to these players. And there's been a lot said after the game by Martinez, Bruno and Amorim himself about mentality and how they can get up for these games, but they need to take the same mentality into other games. And Amorim said he was mad at the players why they can do it against Liverpool at Anfield and they can't do it versus Bournemouth at home. Bruno Fernandes said basically exactly the same thing in his post-game interview, saying he don't understand why they can get up for big games and not others. He is the captain. This is the only criticism of Bruno this week, because I thought he was really, really good yesterday, actually, is he's the captain. He should be the one getting up for these games and leading the team with him, not coming out after a game when we've played well and saying we should be doing it. He has got to make that team do it week in, week out, like top Premier League captains do. And that's all I'm going to say about Bruno, apart from praise him, because he started in the 10 and I thought he played well. And then later on in the game, I think he dropped into the 6 and I was worried about him going in there. But he actually played well today. Do we think him getting sent off and blanked by Amorim has been a turning point in Bruno's head that I've got to change if I want to last? Either I'm not safe, or do we think, again, they've got up to playing a good team and it'll all come to pot when we go against Southampton and we go back to long ball tactics when things are not going right? So that's enough on that. I just want to talk a bit about some of the controversies of the game, some of the goals. Obviously, Martinez's goal, he fired it in. Nice pass by Bruno. I thought Martinez was quite poor up until that point, and from there on, he had a good game. I was very worried about our back three and the pace aspect of it, but they dealt with Liverpool well. I thought all three of them had good games in the end. Maguire was good. Yes, you can say De Ligt was at fault for both goals. I think the first one that Gakpo scored, the only thing I'd say is, again, we scored and we've allowed the other team back into the game straight away. I mean, how long was there between the goals? 3 or 4 minutes? 5 minutes tops before Gakpo scored. And it was a good goal by Gakpo. But it was a poor clearance. I don't know who by. Mazwari maybe. Come back in. We're not set. And De Ligt's gone to ground too early. He's been turned inside out by Gakpo and he's finished it well. I mean, it's a good goal, really. It's hard to really to blame De Ligt for it, but he probably does go down too easily. And the handball is unlucky, but in this day and age, it's a handball. I mean, people are going in at Oliver for giving it and whatever, but it was VAR who gave it. And once he'd gone back to that screen and saw his hand above his head and hitting it, he was always given a penalty, and you'd want it the other way round. In this day and age of football, it's a penalty. Salah tucks the penalty away. Anana gets close to it. Some people critical about Onana on the penalty. I think Salah rifles it. It's in them conditions as well. I think it's very harsh to say Onana should have saved that penalty. Then obviously our second goal, we're getting down the wing. Bruno slips it in down the wing. Garnacho pulls it back. I actually think he's aiming for Højlund. But Ahmad's backing him up. And he tucks it away. Ahmad kissing the badge again against one of our biggest rivals. And you have to say, again, Ahmad stood up, and he, something like the first player since Van Persie or something to score against City and Liverpool in the same season. You've got to love the kid. Plays in 10 in the wing back, wherever you put him. He's waited for his chance. He's been out on loan and he's getting his rewards now, Ahmad. Højlund up front. He's had a lot of criticism again. We need another striker, don't we? Xerxes booed off the other week. And I don't think the boos were particularly aimed at him. I think it was a team performance, but he was just particularly poor that game. So he ended up with the brunt of it. Højlund, he's not been much better than Xerxes, has he? He runs around a lot. He's wrestling defenders. Yes, he's physical. He's got pace. He's got the physicality. But does he have the instinct of a striker? A top striker? People say we don't cross the ball. We don't make chances for him. We don't do this, that and the other. But Dalot put how many crosses in yesterday against Liverpool? Was Højlund on the end of any of them? No. And there weren't bad crosses from Dalot. And I just want to praise Dalot as well, actually, because he was getting... I was watching a watch-along, which wasn't the United stand, it was another one. He was getting quite a bit of a slating by everybody, but he was our main outlet yesterday, tearing Trent inside out on his left foot. He put 3 or 4 really good crosses into the box. I think the one that he puts in for Ahmad, he probably could have put it on the floor. But I also think Ahmad gets in front of the ball. So it's a bit of 50-50. He's put 3 or 4 other good crosses in, and Højlund's nowhere near being on the end of anything. Even the Garnacho pullback, he's in front of it, and it ends up going to Ahmad. Yes, Højlund can probably press, and he's probably good as a pressing forward because he's got energy, he's got work rate, he's got physicality to get about. But as a goal scorer, has Højlund got it? And will we get Osman in the next couple of weeks? What is it, 62 million clause? There's talks of like Xerxes going the other way, potentially Rashford. If we're going to start playing like we played yesterday more often, we need a goal-scoring striker, because yesterday you cannot say Højlund didn't get chances or we weren't putting balls into the box, because we were. And we were against one of the best teams in the league. And that's really the only criticisms I've got for yesterday. I thought Agate was solid in midfield, and I've been fairly critical of Agate. The jury's out whether he would take you to winning a league. But for our team right now, Agate suits us down to the ground. He's exactly what we need. Combative, legs, energy. Without him, we look absolutely frail in midfield. I thought Mainu played quietly well, especially in the first 25 minutes. He was putting himself about. Looked like he'd got some energy back from somewhere. He's looked sluggish over the last few weeks, but he looked like he was energised for yesterday, Mainu. Garnacho come on and had an impact at the end. And Garnacho, I think, over his time at United, really, his best attributes have been coming off the bench and impacting games, and he did that again yesterday. So it's positive. Bruno, can't really fault him at all. He had a couple of real nice touches, one back heel, and he did that little turn in the midfield and beat 3 of them. Some would say that's probably crazy, but it worked. He seemed to be steady on the ball. He was energetic, composed. I mean, if Bruno Fernandes can play like that for the rest of the season, I'll stop complaining about him again. Not complain about him again. But we'll see when it comes to the Southampton game and games like that, whether he can keep playing like this or whether he goes back to over risky football and giving the ball away. It's one game, like I said at the start of the video. I'm not getting overly carried away with any player or the team, because how many times have we seen this team put a performance in for one game and the next few games they're nowhere to be seen? So till we see consistency, I'm not getting carried away, even though it was a very good result yesterday and a very, very good team performance. And let's hope with all this mentality talk by the manager, Martinez and Bruno, that there has been a switch, a click. He's obviously disciplined Garnacho. Rashford's out the squad. He blanked Bruno when he got sent off. Maybe it's really finally clicking that they can't be wasting time anymore, or wasting, or Amorim's not having this kind of attitude at the club anymore. You put 100% in on the pitch and do as you're told or you're gone. I mean, I think we're still 13th in the league with a minus goal difference. So, like I say, they've got a lot to prove still, these players. Will we get a left wing back in the January window? Will we get a striker? I don't know. Osman's a big deal to be getting that done in January, especially when there's a Gyökeres thing on the horizon in the summer. I don't think we'll get Osman personally. I think we'll get Gyökeres in the summer. But yeah, and I just wanted to go just on a little bit of a tangent here at the end of the video about why are we better against the top sides? And I think it's a couple of things. One, I've already talked about a little bit, it's mentality. It's easy to get up for the big games. You get it in your head, like you've got to put a performance in if you want to win this game. But tactically, and maybe not tactically so much, but the squad we have, I think, suit the bigger games because the opposition press us more backwards. So they have more of the ball, they're more of an attacking threat. So we play a little bit deeper, which suits Maguire, Martinez, De Ligt, because they're not the quickest. When we play a lower side or a team we're expected to beat, let's say, we have more of the ball and start to press up the pitch, then we know that our front 3 or 4 are not good at keeping the ball. So we end up on the halfway line with De Ligt, Maguire and Martinez. We lose the ball. The ball's on transition very quick and we're running back to our own goal. I know as a centre-back myself, the last thing you want to be doing as a centre-back is getting to the halfway line, your team lose the ball, and the ball's in behind you running backwards. And we don't have the quickest centre-backs or the quickest midfield. So as soon as they transition on us and run through our midfield, they're straight on the back 3 and they're in. Whereas against the Liverpool, a City, they'd kind of dominate possession in the main. Maybe not so much yesterday, but I'm talking in general. They press us back. We're deeper. Martinez, De Ligt and Maguire can defend the edge of their own box. The problem is when we're up the pitch and lose the ball and they transition on us quick, we don't have that turnaround in pace and quickness to recover. That's just a little observation that I've had for quite a while now, that we've got a squad that suits being penned back. So you could say we're a counter team. Even under Amorim, I suppose that's what it is, isn't it? They have the ball. We do to them what lesser teams do to us. So we're a lesser team versus Liverpool, a lesser team versus City. They have the ball, we win it back, we break on them quick. And the opposite happens to us versus lower teams. We have the ball, lose it, and they break through us. So that's something I do think we need to solve. Until we get really quick defenders, maybe we should just defend 10 yards deeper to stop that transition happening so easily, which is why I think Yoro, and I know he's really young, brilliant tackle by him yesterday on Nunes. Maybe it's too early for him to start all the time, but we need some pace at the back. Like I've said in previous videos, it's why City can play on the halfway line. They had Kyle Walker for years. Not the greatest footballer, not the greatest defender, but super quick and physically strong in recovery. Liverpool have Van Dijk. They have Canate. They're super quick at recovery. Saliba, Gabriel, super quick at recovery. We've got Martinez, Maguire, and De Ligt. None of them are quick on recovery. And then in front of them, in the main, we have midfielders who are not quick at recovery. I think it's a big thing to look at, especially considering last summer and the summer before, we've concentrated so much on buying defenders and none of them are quick. Probably Yoro, who's only 18. We need a super quick defender to recover for us if we're going to start playing possession high up the pitch. Else we will keep getting broke on. Let me know what you think about that take. Basically, good teams we're better against because we have to defend deeper. Worse teams, we caught on transition and run through because we're slow at the back and slow in midfield. I think it's been going on for years. It's not just an Amarin thing. It's this squad and the way it's built. It'll be interesting to see what Amarin does with the centre-back because obviously he said Maguire's going to stay. Obviously De Ligt's going to stay. Martinez is going to stay. Will Yoro end up a consistent in that back three to give us pace? Or will Mazwari end up in the back three eventually when we get another wing back? Because potentially, really, Mazwari's not a wing back, is he? He's probably really a right back or a right central defensive three. But yeah, there we go. That's my take on the game. A positive video, a bit of tactical analysis there at the end. What do I think against Arsenal? If we play like we did yesterday, we can beat Arsenal. The question mark is, can we keep them performance levels up? Let me know in the comments. Like, favourite and subscribe. That'll do me a huge favour and I will see you on the next one. Peace.